Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be doing an unboxing kind of slash my first impressions on my new to me Trousse 23. I am super duper excited to have received her. I just got her in the mail today. If you haven't seen my kind of unboxing of it already, you will be seeing the footage pretty quickly here. So she is new to me today, and I'm very excited to kind of give you my first ideas, first thoughts on her. Yes, her, because she's like a car for men, you know, except the women just love the Louis, you know? At least I do. So, needless to say, kind of get into that. Other than that obvious aspect, I am in a car today, and it's because my apartment is very dark in certain places and then super harsh light. So I figure being out here in the car is a lot better option. That way I can just kind of get this video done, because I do want to start using this new bag to me, my new toiletry, Trousse 23. Yes, that is how I'm saying it. If it is incorrect, I'm sorry, but I believe it's pronounced Trousse. But yeah, I guess kind of like let's get into it. So she is a vintage piece. It is made in the year 1987. And, you know, I'm just really excited. I know there's a lot of controversy on people purchasing pre-loved items compared to new items. That I know of, you can no longer purchase this item in store. I don't know if there's another version of the Trousse. Obviously, there's other toiletry bags, but I really was kind of drawn to this bag, so I'm excited to have gotten it. Even though it's vintage, I definitely don't mind. I love antique shopping, I love vintage shopping, so for me it's just kind of another piece to add. There is also a lot of controversy on leathers from new pieces compared to old pieces, and kind of the quality with how Louis Vuitton is made today. So I mean, for me, I don't have a lot of pieces. I have, I believe, 4 pieces including this one. I have one coming soon, so I would technically have 5 because I've already purchased it. But it's like I said, I don't have a lot. So for me, this is a nice piece to have and kind of see the comparison with the canvas, because I don't have a vintage piece. I have one other pre-loved item, but it's from, I believe, 2014, 2010, so it's not like it's a vintage piece. So this is neat, and definitely to see the comparison in canvas, it is different and it's kind of cool. Other than that, this piece to me is definitely really great condition. Obviously being made in 87, did I say 87? I mean, it's barely, yeah, 87. It's barely looking used for the most part, especially on the outside. There is like a little bit of fraying I noticed when I opened her up. a little bit here and on the side as well. Besides that, the zipper is definitely tarnished. It's not like a bright, pristine kind of gold tone, but I'm okay with that. I mean, you know that's gonna be happening with wear for the most part. There is ways that people say you can try to clean it up. I definitely think it's not something that can be cleaned. I don't think it's like a dirt. I think it's like an actual tarnish on my piece anyway, and I'm okay with that. There is only a couple other instances inside that show like wear, but again, I mean, it's a vintage piece. It's obviously been used, and I think that's part of the story, so I think it's pretty cool. I obviously don't mind buying pre-loved items. A lot of people do. For me personally, I think if it's an authentic piece, and for me, I've got my pieces authenticated. So for me, I don't mind buying authentic pieces as long as obviously you know they're authentic. And I think a part of that is you obviously cannot know 100% until you receive an item if it's going to be, because people can use fake pictures. I obviously took the pictures I received, compared them to the bag in person, and there's no way that it could be a different bag. So, you know, I'm comfortable in knowing that this item itself did not come with a dust bag or box. My other pre-loved item did come with both. I was actually surprised. I knew it was coming with a dust bag, but I did not know it was coming with a box, so I was pleasantly surprised. This one, I probably will be searching for a vintage dust bag at least. I'm not too concerned with the box itself, but finding a vintage dust bag would be nice to be able to place her in when I'm not using her. And I'm just going to keep saying her because to me it's a woman. I mean, shouldn't it be? It's like a toiletry cosmetic pouch, you know, maybe clutch. I don't know, but I also don't have a name other than the name it's made with, and I think Trousse is kind of a funky name to keep saying, so I'm just going to keep saying her. But anyway, besides that, I guess my first impressions of this bag, like I said, it is vintage. I don't mind like the smells of vintage things. Like when you go to an antique store, some people are like, it smells like old stuff in here, and for me, I don't mind that. I mean, obviously there's certain things that can smell really bad, and this piece does not smell bad, but it does smell old. I don't really have a better way to explain that kind of smell. I mean, I almost want to say like it smells more like an old leather than it does a canvas. I mean, I don't really specifically know, again, what a Louis Vuitton vintage would smell like in a normal circumstance, or if it was in pristine condition. I don't know how kind of this canvas, obviously I know like what a painting canvas of vintage smells like, but that would be different. So I mean, to me it smells like you went to an antique store and you picked up kind of like a vintage or antique bag, and that was made of leather, and like opened the closure. That's kind of what it smells like. I don't have, again, a better way to explain it, but I think it doesn't smell bad. I mean, I wouldn't say it smells amazing, hence why. So it was wrapped up when I received it in this kind of bubble paper, and I did put a dryer sheet inside and then put it back in the bag. It's been in there probably for a few hours, just trying to make it smell a little bit more, I guess maybe like me, but it does smell different now. It definitely, I mean, it doesn't smell like dryer sheet, but it doesn't smell as old smell as it did when I first opened it, so that's nice. But kind of going forward, besides that and the pretty much pristine condition on the outside, like I said, a little bit minus the fraying, it is like a relatively size. So there's 3 different sizes of this Trousse. This is a 23, there's a 28, and there's, I believe it's an 18. I believe it's an 18. It could be a 17 or a 19, but I'm pretty sure it's 18. This is one of the easier ones to find, and the 28, the smallest size, is harder to find, so it tends to be a little bit more expensive. I actually didn't know much about the Trousse until I picked this up, and I actually had already purchased it and was just waiting to arrive, while I did a whole ton of video research just to see other people's opinions on it, which I probably should have done prior, but 1, I didn't want to miss out, and 2, I just kind of fell like in love with it via the pictures before, so it didn't really matter to me, because it's like if you love it, you love it. Someone else could hate it. So This is what the inside looks like. It has 3 different pull compartments that are kind of stretchy elastic. I've noticed on mine in particular that goes like tightest, medium to like loosest. So I don't know if that's just the case of mine because of the wear on it, or if they're all that way. I mean, it's not a huge difference. It's very minimal. It's also probably because I've been pushing like the sides in one to hold it. It also has the pouch compartment. The date code is right here. There is a little made in France kind of tab as well. When I opened this, I was a little bit surprised in comparison to what I thought I was going to be receiving. There is a very minimal stain right here in pink. It really isn't very noticeable at all. Like, it just shows wear, so I actually don't mind, but I wasn't aware that it was there. So that part I think is the most disappointing thing of this bag, I would say, because I just didn't know it was going to be there. In comparison to a lot of the other ones I've looked at and similar to lesser prices, there's like black stains inside, so I definitely don't mind. And I think with use, like, I'm going to add color to it. I did try using like a non-scented baby wipe to kind of wipe it off as I did the rest of the bag, but it's not coming out. And honestly, I don't think it will. And I'm okay, like I said, I'm okay with that. It just would have been kind of nice to know prior to that, but you know, it is what it is. Other than that, there is little pieces of debris from use. Obviously, it looks like it has been tried to be cleaned out. They're just kind of stuck. Like, I noticed I had to kind of use my fingernail to get a couple off, which I was kind of debating because I obviously don't want to scratch the interior and, you know, cause holes or blemishes in it. But it is coming off. It's just something that you have to sit there and work at. And there is a few of them. Also, something you couldn't see in the pictures, I'm sure they were there, they're just so small. Like, it's like taking a pencil and like kind of just dabbing it in the inside bottom of the bag and in like the pocket part of the bag, like here, but they're really like in the corner, so it's like obviously tried to have been cleaned. But I'm not worried about it. It's not something that's going to ruin anything I put in here. It's not ruining the bag. They're just noticeable to me because I'm, you know, staring at it and obviously looking at everything and any imperfections I can, because, you know, you pay a good amount. Obviously, I did not pay retail. I mean, actually, I couldn't say that because I don't know what the retail was in 1987, but to me, I paid a good price for it. I did have it appraised when I had it authenticated, and it was over probably, I think it was about $100 more estimated than what I paid, so I'm completely fine with what I paid, especially with the condition. And like I said, besides that pink dot, which is again very light, it's just because it's new to me, so I'm looking at everything. But yeah, other than that, it's really great size. It's about 2 hands for the most part. 4 fingers. I don't have a ruler to kind of tell you exact measurements, but I'm very excited. I think it'll be a great bag. I think it'll be great for travel. I do actually, it's interesting because I know a lot of people use the toiletry bags for clutches, and some people think it looks ridiculous and some people think it looks cute. I could see if I took it traveling and I didn't take a small bag with me, but I used this for like makeup or something, and I was going out and I wanted just a small bag, I could see me using this as a clutch instead of the toiletry for a night or two while traveling. I think it's a good option. Do I necessarily think I would do that in places where it could be stolen? Maybe not. You have to obviously be wise about that kind of thing, but I think it's a good option if you don't have anything and you just wanted a clutch. I think it could work. I mean, it's not, like I said, it is obviously a toiletry bag, but I mean, if you added 2 straps and 2 like D-rings, I think you could call it a different bag. So obviously I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying, like, I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, that's a cosmetic bag, why are you using that out when you're like out somewhere? So kind of varied options. Also could be a huge keep all at the end of like your bag if you have like a Neverfull or something, or just like a bigger bag, like one of the large long chomp totes. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I think overall the smell, like I said, it's not bad to me. It's just old smelling, but again, I'm fine with that. I know some people would be, oh my gosh, I'm not okay with that. I don't believe it was disclosed that it had an older smell, but I also didn't ask because I did hit a lot of information. Like I said, it's only my second pre-loved item, and so I honestly didn't really know what to ask. And I'd had such a good experience with my first item that, you know, I didn't even think like, hey, I should be asking if it smells different. But my other item is new. This is vintage. It's over 30 years old. So, I mean, and considering that, I think it looks real good. So, yeah, I keep saying, I'm sorry guys. It's just, I'm thinking, I didn't really plan what I wanted to say, obviously. It is a first impressions. But yeah, I think if you're looking in the pre-loved market, I did get this on a Facebook group and I love it. I am on it almost 24 hours a day. Like, I don't go anywhere without looking. Like, I look at it before I get in the car, I look at it when I'm out. I'm just obsessed. I did join it fairly recently, I would say. I'd probably say within the last 6 months. I was actually a part of it before and I canceled all of my groups, and then I think I re-added it about 6 months ago, and then I started purchasing. It is March. I purchased at the end of January my first piece because I wanted a February Valentine's gift for myself, which was my other pre-loved item, and then I kind of have been going crazy. I purchased 2 more items including this one since, so going a little insane, so I need to stop. But I do recommend it. I think if it's something that you're looking for, especially if it's not available today in store, it's kind of like, well, why not? Especially if you love it and you're searching for it. Obviously pay attention, ask good questions, think about the questions you should ask, and look at other people's questions and what are they asking. Does it have a smell? Does it have an odor? Is there stains? Things like that. Definitely the more I'm kind of looking at it, the more I'm, not this, but looking at the site, you know, kind of get ideas of what you should be looking and asking for and things like that. Yeah, do I have another I guess other than that, for me personally, I know, again, people are very against buying pre-loved items. Obviously not. I will say, for me personally, if there's an item that's still available in store that wasn't made as a vintage piece, so to speak, like if, for instance, if this was still offered in the store, I may still buy it pre-loved because it was made 30 years ago, and the way I've heard about old canvases compared to new and the quality, if I found one in really great condition, it's very possible I would purchase it pre-loved. For something like the mini Palm Springs backpack that just started being made in the last, it's not even 10 years, it's less than 10 years, I believe, I would purchase that new in store, because to me, $100 off on something that's been used isn't worth what you're sacrificing, in the sense of you absolutely know 100% it's authentic. You are knowing it's not used. You are the first one in it. The smell, different things like that. Obviously, some people, they say the smells don't actually always range in the good side when you purchase new, but I think you also get the box, the dust bags, any type of tags of any sort, you get all that in store, and I think $100-$200 difference for a bag that wasn't made 30 years ago, 20 years ago makes a difference. If, for instance, the mini Palm Springs was made 30 years ago, there's definitely a chance I would purchase it vintage just because of the heavier canvas, different things like that. You obviously, if it's in really great condition, you know it can withstand a lot more time, where purchasing it today, obviously people are having problems with certain pieces like the pochette Matisse and different kind of glazing issues that way, and they're having to pay to get fixed, which in my opinion, if it's less than a certain amount of time old, you should just be able to get it replaced, because obviously there's a lot of issues with it. Now, obviously everyone to each his own with how they spend their money and purchase things. Like I said, that's kind of my opinion and how I feel about, you know, my items. If you have a different opinion, I mean, that's great. I'm not, you know, no fault to anyone. That's just the way it is for me. So yeah, I guess that's kind of about it. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope it was helpful, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye.